Hey, cheers. I'm hoping you guys are trying zzTakeoff. Give it a whirl. Heck, I'm even wearing my, just got finished with a bike ride. God, I'm weird. Um, Anyways, sign up for the free trial. I've heard people get confused when they sign up for free trial because there's no guidance. So I'm going to give you some guidance. So here's zzTakeoff. You want to go File, Open, Project, create a new job. I'm actually in our live environment, so I'm not going to pull up all the projects we're using. But you're in here. Awesome. Good job. The window usually pops up that you say add pages. I'm going to drop in some pages. Just literally drag and drop from anywhere. Awesome. Hit the upload button. You don't even need to let them render and go to town. Let me pause it for a sec while that goes. Okay, so it took a little longer. I'm sitting at home. Super slow internet apparently at my house. But when I'm at work, this flies. Granted, it only took 4 minutes to get all these in here. It sucks that if you have stuff in Bluebeam, bookmarks in Bluebeam that come over, so I wanted to show this, that, hey, this actually, if there's nothing there, you have to kind of start over. I want to show you how easy it is to link it. So I'm going to try and hack the system and break these things. Okay, so I call them all design development. Just your window around it, you'll see it. So if you don't have page names, all you do is hover over the window and say sheet number. Oh boy, my face is in the way. All. Click the sheets that you want to do because I have them selected on the side, so I know it knows I don't need to rename the first one. Then it goes through and names the number, and then I also want the sheet name. You do the same exact workflow, and you hit page name, all, batch rename. Sweet. So now we got all the pages names. You can kind of scroll through to make sure everything worked. You can add little folders to do like arc 50% set or whatever you want to call it. Just do kind of what you're used to in Bluebeam or many other tools, file explorers, drag and drop it in. Very intuitive. I would recommend doing all your projects in one overall project. So all your design milestones, but I'm still kind of figuring that out. So you can click on the widgets and let's do the demo plan, for example. So another cool thing you can do is hover over the scale, hit scale. I think you can do all, but that sounds dangerous. So you click that, now it sets it to the scale, right? It says it right down there. You can also just go up here and hit 30 seconds equal to foot, check it. Hit the dimension button, check your scale, make sure life's good. I never trust that scale. I always check something on the drawings. That's a grid line, grid 30 feet. Everything's checking. Awesome. Good job. So that's drawing management. They also got bookmarks too. They're going to be hyperlinking sections here pretty soon too, like automatically once they get that in there. I'm not going to use Bluebeam anymore, but so if you want to like bookmark this page, I'm sitting at this view, you just hit the plus button, add a bookmark, new bookmark, gives you the name of the page, and there you go. So now I'm on this sheet. I can go back to this sheet and remember my exact view. It's pretty slick, and use that at your will. Another feature. Okay, so now let's get into the takeoff world. So this is kind of a Hensel Phelps specific thing, but any company can do their own. So on the right side is your conditions, your takeoffs, and you can collapse these, expand these. You can also pop this out. You can undock it, move it on another screen, so you have more screen real estate. You can also use multiple tabs as two screens. Do two screens, go to town, and it syncs between the two. You can also have multi-users in it as well. But what I want to go, you could go through and make like, oh, I want to do demo. Like what? If you're used to just starting with nothing and no templates, well, go do your normal stuff that you're all doing. So like remove storefronts and glazing. There's a note 1. It's going to be area takeoff. Apparently I didn't scale this thing first. I'm guessing that's the scale. Hover over it, hit the little area button. It'll make a little area tool for you. Then you can start your takeoff. Assuming I did the right scale, I did. So now we got to go measure all the windows, and you can do that. But so that's kind of a super manual way. You can also click in here and add, maybe you want to have the perimeter, area, linear, just like OST. You can do quantity 1, 2, 3. If you're copy and paste an estimating tool, so you can hit that button, it copies it to your clipboard, and you can paste it somewhere. It's a cool little trick that they have. What else is worth talking about here? You can mess with the measurement type. I'm going to get into these scope classifications. This is a Hensel Phelps specific WBS. Let's talk about templates. So you really want to have templates set up. Any company needs templates. So templates, in a nutshell, yellow folders are kind of custom per project. So I need to do a better job explaining this. So let's do an area quick. So yellow folders, you can make a yellow folder just like we did on the left and call it breakout 1. You kind of use these like areas and zones in OST. So you can kind of customize the yellow folders to your liking, whatever you want. Move it around, drag, drop. But the gray folders are tied with the database, and it's more of a company standard. So I'm going to call this one glass or demo. So now I have a gray folder that's locked. This is a company standard, and my custom sort, whatever I want to do. You can Control C, Control V, add more, do separate things. I mean, it's just a great tool. You can also do Control C, Control V, hit this button. I mean, you guys will, if you know any takeoff tool, you'll just get it. So now let's take you to the next level of templates, because that's what we all really need so we can start going to town. Well, you can also hit this little eyeball to hide, show and hide stuff too. It'll hide everything underneath that folder. Let's talk templates. So if you're a new user, and if you have a template from OST, literally import your template, drag and drop, and you can get started quickly. Same thing with PlanSwift users. Import your PlanSwift templates. You can also batch insert templates, which is a really cool, basically like it's an Epic Excel importer. You Control V, and this is more advanced stuff, but you can import stuff quickly from any of your current tools. So we imported our OST template. You're seeing it on the right, and I've just been layering on more WBSs as I get smarter on how to use this tool. So let's take, banner foundations, for example. This is pretty basic. All those things you expect in uniform at level 3. Cool. Well, now we can take this list and pivot it by scope classification, or we can add another level. See how it's 1, 2. So first grouping is uniformat, second grouping is scope classification. You can also take off uniformat, and now we're just looking at scope classification. If you're more of a CSI type person, there's all my widgets for cast in place concrete, kind of the same stuff. So you get to choose how you want to take this stuff off. So let's say we're looking for drywall, gyp. What do we have in drywall? I think we'd call it drywall. See, we need to make this search a little bit better. So if you put in drywall, it'll find drywall, which is 09 something. 0920. So if I would have typed in GWB, it would come up with this GWB, right? So there's all my gyp wall boards. So I'm going to grab these ones, drop them into my estimate, add to takeoff. Cool. So it's kind of like database estimating, similar shenanigans. And so I'm going to go to a page and do some takeoffs on kind of a fake plan I downloaded from the internet. And I do want to explain the one-to-one ratio, 1-to-1 versus 1-to-many. So we're all used to OST, where it's just you do a takeoff, you get quantity 1, 2, 3, awesome. Now you can totally do that in this tool, but to engage takeoffs, you got to hit this little button. The little button, and that means we're going to town on takeoffs. You can also turn on snap. It's got little snaps to PDF, so you can kind of go to town. So you can do things. This tool is super custom for the end user. So like I just added this little formula wall height, made it a formula description. So maybe it's 12 foot high. 12 foot high, it updates it there. So you type it in here, it updates there in your description, and that goes to all your other tools. Got it, sweet. So I think that makes pretty basic sense. And another thing that's key with Edify is your use groups. So you do have to type in your use group how it's exactly shown on Edify to get this to work. Office 1, and then that'll show up when you import it in Edify. Got your notes field. This is all linked to our Edify product ID right here, so that's kind of how it works. So you get all the cross-coding in Edify as well with the trades and scope classification. And so then you can kind of go to town and Control-C, Control-V, add more of these widgets and call it whatever you want to call it. Just double click on that, call it 3-hour rated description, customize it per your liking, right? So that's that. And to get this, send this to Edify, you go to export CSV, drag and drop that CSV into Edify. You could decide if you want to take stuff with 0 quantities or not. And we're going to be making this better and better. So right now it's pretty basic. Brings in the name, quantity, unit of measure, product code that ties all the WBSs together. And so now I want to explain the one-to-many thing. This is a little bit more complicated. So you can have items underneath the takeoff. So let me explain this better with like rooms. This is way more easier to grasp. I'm going to add rooms to my takeoff. And, so I need a floor, wall, ceiling, base for my one takeoff. So, I'm just going to draw this. Can't wait till they get box draw. And, you'll see I have ACT, rubber, blah, blah, blah. I can call this whatever room it is. Forget the room it was called. Marketing. See, I don't know if I like the formulas because it's harder to get in here. But they are cool. So now, maybe it's 8 feet tall, and that messes with your things. So here's the items underneath here. You can make these to your liking. Set the formulas to whatever you want. You can add other formulas, segment count, blah 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 blah. There's a ton of stuff. End user has the flexibility to change. So this is calculating the perimeter. Paint walls is doing the linear feet times the wall height. So you just make these formulas yourself. Hit the times button, go to town. Maybe I want to add like a waste factor times. Then I do these little side brackets. Waste factor. Close it. Then you get a waste factor and you call it 1.1. But we do 1.5. So you see the quantity just jump. So that's how you make your own custom variables on the fly. And obviously you want to include something, get a template going that's to your liking. And if it's something else, just rename it, call it something else. And so imagine, let's do this a couple times, just so you can use your imagination about how many, so this is your office. So pretend you got a ton of these, and you don't want all this you don't want all this ACT. There's a bajillion line in this for ACT standard. Like, I don't care. I just want to type in one number that's this plus all the other widgets. Well, lo and behold, there's a report for that. So we're trying to figure out how to integrate this better with our estimating tool, because we have the one-to-one workflow going like we do in OST, but this is a one-to-many. So in zzTakeoff, takeoff item is the one-to-one at the higher level, and then item is the word underneath, is the level underneath it. So if I group this by item instead, so there's all my ACT rubber base grouped together. I would drop this in. I'm actually getting a way to kind of more automate this, where you can export this as a company shared like report, export CSV, and then get it this way. This is where we're headed. going to be having an update here shortly that's going to make this a lot more possible to customize these columns so Edify accepts it. But this is exciting where we're going. Share this takeoffs, multiple users, scale templates, just an intuitive, snappy tool to use. And there's a lot more to learn here, but that's up and gets you running quickly. So cheers to the future.